Good afternoon, boys and girls, and welcome to another Tale with Miss Fennell, and I am Miss Fennell. Hopefully you can hear me now. Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties. But I'm back, and I'm ready to read our story. And of course, it is sports day, and I am dressed in my favorite sport attire. What's your favorite sport? Is it basketball, football, soccer, gymnastics, cheerleading? All of those are sports. And as you can see, Miss Fennell's favorite sport is football. And I love football, but our story today is not going to be about football. It's actually going to be about a basketball player. And this basketball player, I want you to try to guess who it is. He doesn't play basketball anymore, but he used to play for the Chicago Bulls. And I'm pretty sure some of you probably even wear his famous shoes. Who do you think I'm talking about? Well, if you said Michael Jordan, you are absolutely correct. We are going to read a story about the great Michael Jordan in the story called Salt in His Shoes. Michael Jordan's Pursuit of a Dream. And something really cool about this book is the authors of the story are people in his family. They are Dolores Jordan, who's his mother, and Rosalind Jordan, who's his sister. Who better to write a story than your mom and your sister, because they probably know the most about you. So let's enjoy this story called Salt in His Shoes. Michael loved to play basketball. Every Saturday, he followed his older brothers, Larry and Ronnie, to the park, hoping that they would let him play. And if one of the guys who usually played with them didn't show, they always did. But there was one problem. His name was Mark, and he was the tallest boy on the court. Look at Mark there. What's the matter, Mikey? Too short? Matt flapped his arms in Michael's face. Over here, shouted Larry. But when Michael threw the ball, Mark's long arms came out of nowhere and knocked the ball away. It flew into the hands of a player on Mark's team. He made the basket and the game was over just like that. Uh-oh. I wonder how losing the game made Michael feel. I am really sorry, guys. If I were taller, that wouldn't have happened. All the way home, Michael apologized, even though no one was mad at him. So I can tell that Michael feels bad about losing the game because he feels he's too short, but no one else really cares. His older brother, Ronnie, tried to cheer him up. Look, little bro, you played good today. Don't worry. We'll win the next one. Those are some pretty good brothers to make him feel better about losing the game. When they got home, Michael went into the kitchen where Mama was cooking dinner. He was still disappointed, and she could tell. You guys lost again today, huh? Michael nodded, so he's saying yes. He sat quietly for a minute, then said, Mama, how can I grow taller? Now, Mama knew the answer to a lot of questions, but this was a tough one. She thought for a moment as she sprinkled salt and pepper on the chicken she was making for dinner. Then she smiled, looked at Michael, and said, Salt. Salt? Michael looked at his mama. Salt in your shoes. We'll put some salt in your shoes and say a prayer every night. Before you know it, you'll be taller, she replied. Ooh, so Mama said salt. Do you think Mama is correct? Or is she just trying to tell Michael something to make him feel better? I don't know. Let's keep reading to find out. Salt in my shoes? Michael said quietly to himself. Surely Mama was teasing. She sat staring out. He sat staring out the window, trying to figure out how Salt was going to help him grow. Man, look at that face. That looks like he's confused. Wow. He noticed the rose bushes outside in Mama's garden. They had grown high along the fence, and roses of all colors were blooming on the vines. He thought to himself, I remember when Mama first planted them bushes. Michael's face lit up. If Mama knows how to make those rose bushes grow taller, then maybe she's right. Maybe salt in my shoes really will help me grow. So there he's comparing what Mama did with those bushes to maybe she's right. Maybe salt in my shoes will help me grow. I still don't know, guys. Let's keep reading. Growing more excited, Michael twirled around and started asking lots of questions. Mama, how long will it take? And how tall do you think I'll get? Smiling, Mama sat down next to him and explained. In order for this to happen, or it to work, the most important things you have to do are be patient and listen to what I tell you and say your prayers every night. Listening carefully, Michael shook his head. Okay, Mama, I'll be patient, but what does saying my prayers have to do with it? Wow. I know that saying my prayers are very helpful, so maybe Mama thinks that saying prayers for Michael will be helpful too. Everything, Mama replied, and she hugged him. Now go wash up and tell your brothers and sisters to get ready for dinner. Michael dashed out the kitchen, almost knocking over his father, who was walking in. What's he up to now? Asked Daddy. Oh, the usual, Mama laughed. Chasing a dream. Later during dinner, Mama noticed that Michael was barely eating anything. He was already daydreaming about being taller. Michael, first things first, you won't grow if you don't eat, especially your vegetables, Mama said. But I'm not really hungry, he said. Raising her eyebrows, Mama gave him a stern look. That means she's looking at him like, you better eat those vegetables. Slowly, Michael picked up his fork and began to eat. See, she gave him that look. Now he's doing nothing but eating. Minutes later, his plate was clean and he was asking for more. That must mean Mama's cooking's really good. That evening at bedtime, Michael set his favorite game shoes on the floor next to the growth chart hanging on the wall. Then he put on his pajamas, said his prayers, and jumped into bed. So he listened to Mama. There he is saying his prayers. When Mama came in, Michael was fast asleep. Sorry, friends. Can't see the book. Silly Miss Fennell. By the look on his face, she could tell he was already playing basketball in his dreams. Standing by his bed, Mama sprinkled salt in his shoes. Then she prayed quietly over him as she did all her children. So even Mama said a prayer for him. Dear God, please help Michael to be the best he can be and give him his best in all that he does. And Lord, could you please make him just a little bit taller tomorrow than he was today? Thank you. Amen. See, even Mama kind of telling a joke about making Michael taller in her prayers. After that night, Michael wore his favorite game shoes everywhere he went, even to church. And he stopped going to the park with his brothers on Saturdays. Instead, he stayed home and practiced. He wanted to grow a few more inches before he went back to that park. Man, I can see that Michael is very determined, meaning that it doesn't matter what it takes. He is going to do his best so he can get taller. That tells me that says a lot about how he played basketball too. After 2 months of practicing and waiting patiently and praying, Michael stood next to the growth chart on his wall. Nothing. He hadn't grown an inch. He was disappointed, but he did not stop believing. I've just got to give it time, like Mama said, Michael thought to himself, and that's what he did. Go, Michael. You didn't even get discouraged. Even though you were disappointed, you still kept going. I tell my class all the time, you gotta push through. 2 more months of practicing went by and still nothing. So he's spending all this time and he's not growing. I know he feels sad. Now Michael was becoming a little sad. See, look at that. Not only had he not grown 1 inch, but he also missed playing basketball with Larry and Ronnie. About the only thing he didn't miss was being picked on by Mark. When the next Saturday came, his brothers tried to get Michael to go with them to the park, but he wouldn't budge. Mama began to worry. When she saw Michael sitting alone on the steps, she said to Daddy, maybe you should go out and talk to him. What great parents noticing that something is wrong so they can try to fix it. Because I'm a problem solver. So Daddy went out and sat with Michael. What's wrong, son? You haven't gone to the park with your brothers for a few months now. Are you okay? Michael didn't say anything at first. Then he looked at Daddy and said, I thought I would at least be a few inches taller by now. I did everything Mama told me to do, but nothing's happening. Michael, why do you want to be taller? Daddy asked. If I were taller, I'd be a great player, and I could help out the team win, Michael answered. But you are a great player, son, and you already have everything it takes to be a winner right here. Daddy tapped on Michael's chest. Being taller may help you play a little better, but not as much as practice, determination, and giving your best will. Those are things that make you a real winner. Whoa, those are some great words of encouragement, Dad. Michael thought about what Daddy said for a minute. Then suddenly he jumped up and took off. Where are you going? Daddy yelled after him. I've got a game today and I'm late, Michael yelled back. What great words. They even got Michael to go back to the park to play ball. I think that's where he's heading now. When Michael reached the park, the game had started. He sat on the bench hoping he would get a chance to play, and he did. The game was almost over, and the score was tied. When John, one of the guys on Michael's team, fell and hurt himself. Here was Michael's chance. Oh my goodness, friends. Now you know that it is getting ready to get real good. So turn those listening ears up and let's see what happens. Michael joined his team in the huddle as they gathered on the sideline for a timeout. Okay, the game is tied. All we need is 1 point. Who wants to take the shot? Ronnie asked. He looked in Michael's direction. Feeling more confident than ever, Michael said, I'll do it. When the whistle blew and the game began again, Mark began to pick on Michael as usual. Still trying to play with those big boys, huh? Mark taunted. But Michael paid him no attention. Go, Michael. Tall or not, he had been practicing, and today he was determined to win. Larry threw the ball inbounds to Michael. Michael caught it, bounced it for a moment, and then took off running. As he approached Mark, Michael shifted to his right. Mark followed, but while he was still shifting, Michael spun to his left. He stepped behind Mark and shot. The ball arched far above his opponents. Hands and fell silent through the hoops. Oops, sorry, friends. Silly Miss Fennell. The ball arched far above his opponents. Hands and fell silently through the hoop. 2 points. The game was over. Michael's team had won. Not only did he score 1 point, he got them 2 more points. It was just as Michael had dreamed. He had realized what he had done. Michael took off running and didn't stop until he reached home. He was just so excited. He didn't even celebrate with the people that he won with his team. He ran straight home. Why would he run straight home? Bursting through the door, he shouted, "I did it, Daddy! I did it! I shot right over the tall guy's head, and we won the game." That's right, little brother. You did it, and you won the game for us. Michael remembered the look that Ronnie gave him during the last time out of the game and said, "No, we won the game, but I was the star." They all laughed. After that day, Mama stopped putting salt in Michael's shoes. But Michael did not stop being patient and working hard and praying. So that must be what made Michael grow to the 6-foot-tall basketball superstar. The end. Well, boys and girls, this book taught me no matter what may happen, no matter how tall you are or how short you are, it doesn't matter. If you want something you dream about, go out and do it, no matter what it takes. And I found this special quote that Michael Jordan's mom, Dolores, wrote about the book, and I'm going to read what it says. "It is my hope that young readers and listeners will be motivated by this book to follow their dreams, just as Michael followed his. You can do that by setting goals, working hard, and being dedicated. It's only when we do this our dreams can and do come true. For that reason, I dedicated this book to the many children who are inclined to say I can't, or I wish I had talent, or I wish I were gifted. To them, I say, you are gifted, you are talented, and you are special. God has a plan for each of you. Just believe in yourself and follow your dreams." Follow your dreams, everybody. Have a great day.